Hey folks, and welcome back to our coverage of the Crown Tundra in Pokémon Sword. We've dealt with Calyrex and his steed, as you can plainly see here. Yeah, that's right, just strut your stuff. You're my pet now. You eat off the floor like the king that you are. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, today we're capturing the Regis and whatnot. Regirock, Registeel, Regice, yes, that's how you pronounce it, that's how they say it in the anime, and either Regidraco or Regilecki, the two new ones. And much like, you know, in Gen 3, there are some puzzles in which you have to solve in order to get them in the first place. Thankfully, there's nothing as contrived or vague as put a Relicanth in one spot, a Wailord in the other, do 50 Hail Marys on a Tuesday while the blue moon waxes and such.
Yeah, it's a lot simpler this time around, especially considering, you know, you are given the clues up front for all of the different Regis, which is really an absolute godsend. Obviously, they are slightly twisted clues in the sense of you've got the sentence that explains what you need to do, but it's missing letters and so on and so forth. But you should generally be able to sort it out, or, you know, you can just do the simple thing that everyone's done since the dawn of time with the Regis and just use a guide.
Yeah.
I think this one here is actually the only one that you might not figure out what to do, because I imagine that a lot of people just forget that you can whistle, given there's usually not much use for it. The other two are like really bloody obvious, but I do want to just step back a little bit to Tom. You were saying about how to pronounce Regice's name. The anime has actually pronounced it both ways. Like 4Kids listed it as Regice, whereas the newer dub says it as Regice.
Whatever, I'm going to continue calling it what I've said all this time, which is Regice.
I mean, if the anime's going to make it up as they go along, we might as well.
I mean, it's Regirock, Registeel, and Regice. That doesn't make any sense, so it has to be Regice. Hydrosity, Hydrosity, Hydrosity. Thank you.
I was just about to butt in with Hydrosity, but fuck you.
Alright, here we go. The first on our capture list is the Titan of Steel himself. Regice, Registeel.
Yep, I don't speak Registeel, so I'll take your word for it.
Oh man, I just want to, just for the rest of this video, just loop the anime cries compilation.
I would rather we didn't do that, but one thing you will notice straight away, sort of the thing that will kick you in the nuts when you start going hunting for the Regis, is compared to more recent games, like more recent legendaries in games, these still have a very low catch rate. These still have your catch rate of 3, which that is, you know, I think is 3 out of 255, and that's calculated by, like, that is without any modifiers, so it's a chance of 3 out of 255 if you just throw a standard Pokeball at full health.
Jeez.
But that is still very, very low, and I feel like we've been spoiled in recent times in that a lot of the plot-related legendaries tend to have a slightly higher catch rate. You got quite lucky there.
Oh yeah.
These ones are still the old school setup. They haven't bumped these up, so you can be here throwing balls at them for fucking ages if you get unlucky.
I'm not sure whether the theme they use is new or a remix or not.
Like, I can't recall the original Regi theme. I believe it's remixed from what I've read, but I may be wrong.
When I say remix, I mean from one of the more recent games. Like, I don't know, were they in Gen 6 or 7? I've honestly forgotten. Which is kind of sad, because I would say my favourite trio is actually the Regis, because they have great designs, you know, they're elementally satisfying, they fit a criteria, and I don't know, I just feel like they're proper legendaries as opposed to like the fucking fairies from Gen 4 or something.
Oh, they were shit, but like I'll say like they're not my favourites. I'd say I like both the birds and the dogs a bit more, but they are cool in concept, and I can kind of get behind that. But they were also in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire from Gen 6. That was, I believe that was their most recent appearance. I'm not sure if they could show up in the Ultra Wilds or not in Gen 7. But in terms of them actually having set places where they can spawn, that was Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Maybe they're theme from that then, that I'm thinking of.
I think you are definitely right in that the last place that they were in set locations would have been Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, because they would have had to have been in the Ultra Wormholes, because that's where all of the legendaries were located that weren't, just regularly part of the game. So that's the only place that they could have been in. Gen 7, is that Gen 7?
Yes, Richie, I'm glad that the university-educated person here can't count to 7.
Well, it's not so much that he can't count to 7. He's trying to connect the dots, as it were. It's not a problem with his numeracy skills.
Well, you don't need to connect the dots here because they're not using Braille anymore.
Yeah, it's more the fact of we've had that many generations of Pokemon now. Sometimes you kind of have to do the sort of mental maths of going, that one goes there, that one goes there, that one goes there, and you get to Sun and Moon and you're just like, is that 7? Is that 6? Was that 8? Where are we now?
Well, I usually define a generation by what gimmicks it's had, mostly post Gen 5, so the 3D games. But enough about that. Time to capture Regice. Walk together with a living crystal of snow. That's why I said capture a Cryogonal towards the start of this little Crown Tundra coverage. Put it in the first place, have it walk with you, and then click on the door again.
So I will say it I can understand what they're going for here and the fact that it's a simple clue they can have, but I don't like being forced to have Cryogonal on my team. Because, look at it, it's arguably the worst fucking Pokemon design.
Who gives a shit? You can press the R button to switch it out instantly.
I know, but every second that I'm doing that is a second I'm having to acknowledge Cryogonal's existence.
You're such a fuckazoid, that's what you are.
And also, having to catch a Cryogonal is nowhere near as horrific as having to try and catch a Relicanth and get a Whale Lord as it was in the original Gen 3. So, and also, they're literally outside of the temple, so even if you may hate the design, it is at least, being decent with your time and not forcing you to do anything overly ridiculous.
Yeah, I think the worst one with Gen 3 to catch was actually Feebas, because that would spawn on, I think, 6 random tiles from that one water route, with no indication of what tiles it would be, and it's not the sort of thing you could use a guide for. Holy fuck, this is bullshit.
I have a little bit of a story to tell regarding this. This must have taken me 30 minutes, 40 minutes. What you're sitting here is a separate take. Regice, whatever, however you want to pronounce his name, was the hardest Regi for me to catch, bar none. This fucker would just not stay in the ball. So basically what I eventually ended up doing is if the quick ball failed, I just reset and did it again.
Fair play. I have had some luck with that in the past. The most recent legendary caught in Quick Ball was Dialga in my Platinum run, which I was expecting that to be great because I was trying to get Dialga and Palkia back to back, which you can do in Platinum, and I was expecting it to be sitting there for hours, and it's just, I went to Dialga first, threw the Quick Ball, and I was so satisfied with that, I wasn't even bothered about the fact that Palkia then gave me a bit of shit.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you're fighting against Legendary, there's a period of time where it feels okay and fun if they give you a bit of a challenge. But then, if it goes over that moment, then you're just like, yeah, no, can you just stay in the freaking ball now? For the love of God, stay in the ball!
We've had enough fun with you. You need to stay in the box now.
Oh, but his mate wants to come along as well now.
Well, I'm sorry, we only have a 1 Pokemon per party rule, thank you.
I will say, as a bit of a morbid thing that I appreciate about this Pokemon, is it can learn Attract, despite being genderless. So it can try to use Attract and it will never work.
Oh no.
So in a way, maybe I hate it because it's like me.
Didn't realise you were a genderless Pokemon, mate, but the more you know, I suppose. Then the morbid thing I want to bring up about Cryogonal is when it fucking melts in the summer, it's apparently still there until the winter.
What the fuck?
There could be, I'm going to go and read his Pokédex entry, but I'm pretty sure I got that right.
Jesus Christ. Like, what would it even look like if the ice sort of melts off it?
Who knows, mate? Who knows?
A floating mustache?
Okay, that would be an improvement to the design.
Let's have a look here. This is from Shield. When the weather gets hot, these Pokemon turn into water vapor. Cryogonal, or Cryogonal. I can't pronounce this fucking thing.
Cryogonal.
Whatever. Are almost never seen during summer.
I wonder why.
They're apparently born in snow clouds, so the more you know.
Ah, cool.
This was the hardest temple for me to find for some reason. I don't know. Something about the terrain just made me not want to explore down this way.
Yeah, it is the one that's sort of most out of the way, because like the Regice one is like right there, you're gonna go there, and the ice one, that's on the way to the place you go in the Calyrex quest, so you might well have run into that on the way down there. Whereas this one, like, you would have no reason to go here other than for Regirock. Although I did go out of my way to go get Regirock first, just because I'm kind of anal about doing them in order.
Fair enough, mate, fair enough. For this one, you need a never-changing stone, which is an Everstone. Thankfully, I have 4 of the fuckers, so there you go, a temporary switch of the held item there, and Bob's your uncle. We're inside the final of the main 3 Regi temples.
Yeah, see, this is a lot more manageable here than it would be in another gen, because a lot of the time in earlier games, Everstones used to be quite hard to get hold of. They would be given to you by an NPC, whereas here, they're just wherever. Like, you pick them up on the wild area, on the floor and shit, so you probably have several of them lying around.
Now, since we're going to Regirock here, what would you say is your favourite of the Regis, Rich?
Oh, I mean, I'd probably always say Regice, just because I always do tend to err towards the Ice-type Pokemon, and I just like the iceberg design. However, that said, I'm actually quite fond of Regilecky.
Okay.
Like, it's just quite a funky, different design, and I'm kind of here for it.
What about you, Flo?
See, I would say in terms of their designs, I think Regirock here is the coolest.
Okay.
But I do like Regice, and the reason I like Regice is that I remember the Regice Pikachu fight being pretty hype in Battle Frontier.
How many times did Ash take on that guy?
3. Because he cycled through all 3 of the Regis, and for the final one, it was the battle where he brought back Bulbasaur, Squirtle and Charizard for it.
Nice.
That was the part of the fight that I wasn't that keen on, because I don't like the fact that they knocked Charizard out in the first round. That kind of took a lot of the fun out of it, and I know that like Charizard's the Shieldmon, and I kind of buy into that. I do really fucking like Charizard. I really do like Ash's Charizard in the anime though, so I would like to have seen a bit more with him before the final round. But that particular arc as well, that suffered from the episode leading into it, not the battle itself, but the episode leading into it, where Ash was doing his training with all of his starter Pokemon. That had some of the worst animation errors that the series had at that point. Like, that was clearly the case of they were saving all their resources for the big final episode, and so that was just like, yeah, we'll pump that out as quick as we can and then put more time into the actual battle one.
Now, you may be wondering, why am I using a flying type attack against a rock type? Well, I'm trying to get bounce to cause paralysis on Regirock here.
Yeah, see, I had my Raichu's Thunder Wave, so, like, Raichu was my, like, main for trying to get the legendaries down.
I'd say one of the things that I realised with my team when I was going through the Regis and the Galarian birds is that, yeah, my team was not built for catching Pokemon. It was very much built for battle. And it was just like, yeah, I don't have anything with a Thunder Wave. I don't know if I've got anything that can learn Thunder Wave. I don't have Thunder Wave in a sort of TM or whatever. Ooh, this is a bit of a pain.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much, Rich. I'm going to take the Regis into an upcoming tournament and have all of them die in the final round.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But in terms of catching the Pokemon, I would say that although sleep enhances your chances the most, I tend to use paralysis just because it's the most consistent. To save you having to put it back to sleep every 2 or 3 turns, which really does make it that much more painful.
Something for me to have a think about for the upcoming Heart Gold Nuzlocke run.
Yeah, that will be fun. Will this video go out before or after that?
We should still be playing it by the time this one goes up, I think.
Ah, cool. So this could be a moments before disaster kind of thing, depending how it goes.
Yeah, basically. Alright, stay in the fucking ball this time, please. Yeah, 1.
Regirock had other thoughts.
Oh, that's a spicy punch you did right there. But you always go down a little bit in the attack department, so whatever.
Yeah, but he also goes down in defense, which can make whittling him down a bit more. That more irritating.
Well, you say that, but should one of the Regis faint, you can just redo the puzzle, by which I mean the dot puzzle and not the outside puzzle, and just click on the statue again. That's a quality of life feature I very much hope is carried forward.
Yeah, that is a sort of thing that, like, maybe not quite this easy for the, like, more, like, bigger legendaries in the main games, but I do appreciate something that they've been doing in recent times is that there is a way to refight the legendaries if you need to, because a lot of the games tend to do it that if you accidentally knock it out, you would need to go and refight the league, which I suppose, like, fair enough, it's to try and, you know, not make it too much of a joke like it is here, but at the end of the day, people are just going to save scum anyway. So, like, doing it like this, it is just a convenience thing.
Right, now we have the 3 main Regis. We can go and get one of the new lads, and just a forewarning, you only get 1 per version, so pick your poison. Do you want the electric, or do you want the Dragon Titan?
Between those 2 designs, I do actually quite like both of them.
So,
But I think Regidrago is sort of a little bit cooler in my eyes.
Which is fair, although it's interesting because you always end up with people going, which one is the best? And from what I remember when I was sort of looking up and trying to figure out which one I wanted, both of the new Regis are good at different things, as I mean you would expect, but there's not really a certifiable best one, although from the looks of things I think Regilecki might be the one that's easiest to have a more broken strategy with.
yeah, it's fast as fuck.
Yeah, and that's sort of the main thing with it. Any Pokemon that's like super fast, always in with a good shout of being a little bit broken.
I feel like it kind of goes against the idea of having a legendary Titan Pokemon if it can go really quickly, though.
Well, you know, I don't know how the fuck Regigigas was able to craft a being of pure electricity, but I don't know, maybe he put some elastic bands on it and called it a day.
Oh god, it's that one fucking Origami King boss.
Oh god, it's this one fucking Crygonigal again. Go away, we're done with you.
Although on the plus side, you do get the satisfaction of killing another one.
Well, that's true, but it'll just become water vapour, so it's just hanging there in the air.
Yeah, but hopefully it will learn its lesson.
You'd think so, but here we are.
Speaking of the Regis, given we've only got one more left in terms of the plot ones, Tom, given you have both of the games, are you going to be going after Regigigas here?
Not in this video, no. Mostly because, well, I suppose I should start at the beginning here. In the Giant's Foot, I believe is the area. If you carry Regirock, Registeel, Regice, Regidrago and Regilecki with you in your party, with your starter, or Calyrex, I guess, and go to the one den that's surrounded by a ring of stones, there will be a raid battle with a level 100 Regigigas, and
yeah,
of course it has slow start, so it's not going to start moving for 5 turns, but I would assume it has all the shields and one of a regular raid, so good fucking luck with that.
Well, I'm going to dispute you there because I used the Zero Aura that they did a giveaway for, and I knocked it out in like 4 hits.
Oh.
Because the way it works is that it's not a typical raid format in that, like, you can use your entire team to whittle away if you're having trouble with it. But on top of that, like, it doesn't. Like, I think it uses shields, but it doesn't take too long. And because Zero Aura is super effective against it, it's got a fighting move, and the fighting type Dynamax move keeps raising your attack as you do it. It really isn't that hard to take down with him. So if you are struggling with the Regigigas, that's a good strategy to use. Just if you remembered to pick him up when you had the chance to, just throw him out and he'll do it nice and easy for you.
Okay.
Regigigas himself is a Pokemon that I think is cool in design, that's grown on me a lot since Gen 4 first came out, because I wasn't too keen on him at first, but I've come to appreciate him in concept and in design, not as a Pokemon to try and use, because slow start, like, Jesus Christ, he needs to take some meds for that, you know?
Oh man, like I like that one gif of the Regis dancing and he's just there in the background. They deliberately paused his animation for like, I don't know, 6 frames or something, so he starts well after the others.
That's great.
Alright, take note of these patterns here. You will have to basically repeat the one you want in order to get the Regi that you so desire. And since I went with Regidrago in my casual shield run, we're going to go after Regilecky here.
Nice one. One thing that I did notice is that the patterns that they show you on the door aren't quite the pattern that you have to do here. You just got to get the same general shape down.
Yeah, electricity hangs in the air. You should probably, I don't know, put on some, like, rubber-soled boots. Is that how it works?
Yeah, it would probably be a good shit. I mean, just entire outfit of rubber would probably be quite helpful, because otherwise, yeah, you might be a little bit screwed.
Or just have a ground type to shield you.
Well, unless you can, I don't know, create a shield of ground Pokemon just all over your body, just loads and loads of like dog trios and whatnot. You're probably going to have a bit of a hard time. Anyway, Regilecky, he's a little lad, but he's fast as fuck, boy. So don't underestimate him.
His design here, it's weird how he does still sort of fit in with the other Titans, despite having a much smaller build to him, which again ties in with the whole him being really fast thing that they've got going on. But like, this is the kind of design that could very easily have been a disaster, and they just about got away with it.
Yeah, I agree. Now, for those of you who don't know, Lecky is a British idiom for electricity, hence his name.
I don't know if that's explicitly what they were going for, because it's kind of Regilecky, which feels like they were more trying to just get electric in within the character limit.
Yeah.
You could pronounce it as Regilecky. There's nothing saying you can't.
There's nothing saying you can't pronounce it as anything, really, though.
Yeah, why don't we call it Buford? Buford the Regi.
Well, I mean, in Omega Ruby, given you have to give your Regice a nickname for some reason, I just called it Fluffy.
Anyway, Bulbapedia reading time. Based off the golems of Hebrew legend, we knew this. Regilecky seems to be based off the concept of an electric charge being restrained by electrical insulation. Its overall shape resembles a light bulb wrapped in Tesla coils, while its arms resemble electric arcs. As an electric generator found in ancient ruins, its inspiration may also be drawn from an out-of-place artifact such as the Baghdad Battery.
Huh.
Yeah, and the legendary titans may be collectively themed after historical epochs, with Regilecky representing the Modern Age.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That's a long-standing popular theory. It hasn't been confirmed or anything, but obviously we have the Ice Age, we have the Stone Age, and we have, I guess, the Iron Age, so Regidrago would be the Dark Ages, and yeah, Regilecky would be the Modern Age.
Yeah. It adds up, and generally if something adds up, even if it wasn't intentional, it works.
So, when you've got all of them, is Regigigas supposed to represent the time period, or is he just like the overseer?
I think he's just the overseer. He's the dad of the Regis, really. I want to say, like, he created these two in Galar before moving on to create the other three.
Possibly, or the other way around. Although he is still loitering here in Galar, so that might have been something he did recently, because we've already established he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who moves around too quickly.
True, but in Hoenn it's really funny because one of the things you have to do is I think you have to make a Pokemon hold an ice cream or something in order to get him to appear.
Yeah, as far as I recall, what you got to do is you got to have the three Regis. The Regice needs to have a nickname, and I think it's also the Regice that needs to be holding an ice-themed item, like a Never Melt Ice or one of the ice cream cone things.
Sweet Jesus.
But that's the sort of thing that I can't get mad at, because that's not just a bit of like inconsiderate game design or whatever. They are doing that intentionally, and they know exactly what they're doing. It's like the Sonic CD of like game design.
How so?
In the fact that if you think, part of the reason I like CD's bullshit level design is that it's intentionally bullshit level design. It's trolling you. It's not like they've left these things in as oversights. Like, they're doing it deliberately, and I can respect that in a twisted manner. You know?
I think you may have misinterpreted what they were going for there, Flame.
How so?
Well, you're an idiot, and you got it wrong.
However, my counter-argument to that is, no, you're an idiot, you got it wrong.
I respect the balls on you for making such a succinct counter-argument, but alas, that's it for the Regis. We've got them all, so all that's left is to speed through text, really.
Well, that and we got more legendaries going up, but yeah. There's a lot of text for what is basically just a check-in thing.
I like flavor text, okay? I don't really get the comparison between Regirock and Milo, other than them being big friggers, but, you know, let's have a look at what he says about Regios.
So I will say I was doing this between catching each one, so it was a lot more manageable there.
Well, you know, fuck off. Just saying, the constant criticism gets to me over time, you know. Why doesn't that clock have any hands on it?
Yeah, it doesn't. Like, when I saw that, I was thinking, like, is it just zoomed out? But no, there is literally nothing there. Is that the same texture as the tree behind it?
Oh no.
Stop pointing these things out to me, you're ruining it.
Oh no, am I ruining Gen 8 for you, Flame? Well, whatever. You can't tell what's going through Registeel's head. In fact, there may not even be anything in there at all.
I do enjoy appearing his little summaries of the legendary Pokemon here, because it's like, this is the kind of guy who doesn't really understand what he's looking for, he's just looking for them because they're cool.
I can appreciate such a motivation.
Ditto. And also it's like proper layman's terms understanding of them. And really we've never had that in Pokemon, and it's just quite fun.
Oh, the Pokedex entry for Regirock in Shield is kind of depressing. Cutting-edge technology was used to study the internals of this Pokemon's rock body, but nothing was found, not even a brain or a heart.
So it is literally just rock that is sentient somehow.
Well, Regigigas works in mysterious ways, I suppose.
That makes me like him even more, honestly.
No thoughts, head empty, but still ready to use superpower on your bitch ass. Alright guys, that's one more quest down, so coming up next is the legendary bird arc, and unlike their Kanto counterparts, these ones are a bit spicier, so we'll be seeing you next time when our trip through the Crown Tundra continues, and I pad out the end of this episode because I should really time when the video is going to end better. And it's time to go bye.